Hello, how is YouTube today? It's been a minute since I've done a makeup tutorial on here, so I decided to just film one straight out and specifically post it on here for you guys. If you're new to my channel, please hit thumbs up and don't forget to hit subscribe. So I used to do my live on Facebook, which I still do often on my main page, for my main personal page, Marilyn Opitz page. That's where I have like the most engagement. So I used to film those live. Sometimes I've been going live on Instagram and doing them as well, and that's at BibaGirrrl Beauty. I always post my stuff below too, my info below. And sometimes I've been doing that, going on there, but I have not done them here. Well, for one thing, have not gone live in here because once YouTube changed their format where I couldn't have comments anymore unless I had 1,000 viewers, followers, couldn't get comments anymore until I had 1,000 followers. So it was very hard to go live on here. And and then Facebook, when I would record my lives from Facebook, they used to let you save it to your phone. You could put it anywhere. And that's how I put them here. That's why we have all those ones where I was chatty and engaging with people and all that. But Facebook changed their format too and made it so you can't save your lives anymore. I can't save those lives anymore to my phone. So trying to stay with everybody's rules of engagement, and everybody keeps changing this and that and blah, 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 blah. So I'm just trying, I do stuff over there. Sometimes I make stuff for over here. Then I have to make stuff for over on Instagram. And even though you can do one thing and then something else, it's really, they really like, don't really make it all that easy. Like you can do TikTok and save it to Instagram, or Instagram to Facebook with Reels, but you can't do a live on Instagram, have it go to Facebook. You can't do a live and have it come here. There's a lot of limitations. Even my shorts that I make here, I make in Reels on Instagram, but you can't save it to put here. You can do a TikTok to go to Instagram. It's like so weird. It's so weird. It's so weird. Okay. And I talk to other influencers, and I've listened to other influencers, and watch other influencers complain about these issues too. So it's not just me. It's a full-time job doing social media. Okay. So, and I am actually I've been juggling 3 jobs already. So one thing has to fall through the cracks, so I'm trying to do the best I can, trying to do more things equally everywhere, and hopefully to get good engagement and good interaction, wherever I am. So I've got my Q-tips handy. I've got my Kleenex handy. I always say, they say keep your friends close, your enemies closer, and I say keep your box of Kleenex even closer than that. And as well as your Q-tips, okay? And I always have my Q-tips in this cute thing. Avon had, a few seasons back, we had a promotion where we had some lipstick samples, and they came in this box. It looks very Kylie, like it's almost like an imitation Kylie kind of a thing, but it says Avon on it. So anyway, so I still kept it because I think it's a cute thing to have on my little dressing table here. My little table. For a while there, I've been doing my hair curly, or wavy curly, and then the other day I straightened it out, and then of course it rained, so I've got a little bit of wave going on, but for the most part, I'm kind of doing it this way today. So anyway, I thank you guys so much. Happy holidays for everyone, just happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. I thank you guys so much for following me and hanging in there with me. I know many of you have been with me since I started. So I'm just going to chat a little bit and kind of give you an update. And while I do my face with some various things, we've got some cool stuff happening. I've shown it on some other videos, but I'm going to be playing with them a little bit. We've got these fun makeup sponges. I call these, even though this is not what it's called, but I call this an Emerald City Collection. This is one of the glimmer palettes. And I'm going to play around with that a little bit. here, right here. It's so pretty, holiday collection. Good thing I got it, because I usually drop everything. I always keep the plastic, as I always talk about that, keep the plastic so that things stay more fresh, and you don't get as much fallout. Get the fallout from that. And let's put this box. And this also has that same kind of Emerald City box. The sponges that shaped like diamonds. Also, I call them the Emerald City boxes. They're all in the FMG Holiday Glimmer Collection. This is the other one that's so pretty. The one shaped like a gemstone is called the Diamond Vibes Multi-Palette. This one is called the Bejeweled Mega Palette, okay? And we've got a drawer that I always like. Here's a church, there's a steeple, open it up, and there's all the people. So it's like the same thing. Here's this, you start this, you got that, and then you open it up, and then there's more, okay? So it's one of those, and all of these things are available on my website, which I always have linked down below. The only thing that isn't linked that we don't have anymore is this, but that, you know, so that's why I said it was from before. Here's a little thing. Here's something fun I got at Dollar Tree. These little things. This was in when I went through got some of my mom's things, and I had no idea where she had got this from. This is where I keep my little scissors for, like, sometimes you get eyebrows that are kind of growing in weird directions. I keep my tweezers in here. These are nail scissors, but I use them for going around. And then I have. This is a bottle of like rubbing alcohol for sanitizing things. And I have a bigger bottle that I refill my smaller. And then I always have this in a drawer right here on my dressing table. So I had not known where she had gotten this from, because my mom lived in Florida and I'm in the DC area, the DC suburbs. So I had no idea. But I went to Dollar Tree recently, and they had them. And I got a bunch of, like, this is where I keep, like, lash glue, lash tweezers, and, things like that. So just a little tip for you guys. I have another one that has some other little, beauty knickknacks. So even though I have these, like, here, I'll just turn my phone here. Even though I have these, like, beauty shelves and stuff, and I may do, like, a tour of stuff that I have on here. Some point. That'd be a fun video, fun thing to do. But anyway, so I thought it would be, I just want to, sometimes I like just giving little tips like that while I'm doing my tutorials. So I'm going to do the Diamond Vibes. This is great because you can use these for eyes. You can use these for blush. You can use these for pretty much anything you want. And I like just taking them. This is also an Avon brush. You've got the powder end on this end and the angled end on this end, and just kind of going over all these right here, and I kind of do my temples, kind of do up here a little bit. It's this is something I learned from watching. Actually, I don't know, it was a Kim K makeup video with one of her makeup artists, where they were talking about blending it into your hairline when you're doing bronzer or bronzing, or just adding a little bit of color so that it looks more like you don't have like that gap where you're lighter up here if you're paler skin. Of course, if you're darker skin, you have to worry about that at all. But paler skin, you kind of want to have it blend a little bit. And then same thing with here, kind of blend that a little bit along the jawline. Now, I've noticed that as I've been losing some weight, I'm kind of like losing it unevenly. Like, and that happens sometimes, right? It happens sometimes in the body, but I've got like more of a sag on this side. So I've been really trying to work on this. So it's getting better, but it's still like, it's hard. It's hard. I'm over 50. I'm 56. I'm 57. 57. I keep going. Not bad for 57. Not bad for 57. But it's still 57. So anyway, okay, a little bit up here, a little more. It's a sunny day here. It's a little chilly though. we had some pouring, nasty rain yesterday morning. And, so I'm grateful for the sun today. A little, and this is another thing. It actually helps if you do, a little bit on the nose. Do it either side to give a little bit of a contour, a little bit of slimming here. My nose is wider than it used to be. It's also much longer than it used to be. So, this isn't a nose that I knew. It never was a nose that I've been all that fond of my life, but it at least, and then you finally get used to your face, right? And then you start aging and it starts changing. It's like, what? What? I was finally getting used to that other thing, and now you're changing on me. But, we deal. Okay, so now I'm going to use, I'm going to go over my face with the pressed powder, but I'm also going to do a little concealer. Now, just so I didn't put it on when I came, I didn't say, I was blending it on when I first came on, but I didn't want to come on completely bare, because that's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot for me to have people see me completely bare. Sometimes I'm in the mood to come on and be completely, especially right after I just washed my face, but I just exfoliated. I use a really great, twice a week, I alternate between a vitamin C, it's probably called a mask, but it's not a mask. It's more like an exfoliating scrub, okay? But it's called a mask. And why, I don't know, because it's actually a scrub. And then I alternate between the collagen booster, which is a scrub, okay? So today I mixed a cleanser with my collagen booster so I could just do one quick cleanse, and then it's an exfoliating cleanse. Let me find the vitamin C. Maybe it might not be in this brochure. Yes, it might not be in here. Sometimes they have things in. The thing is that we have so many things now, and they don't used to always have the full line in the brochure, but they don't. It might be actually in the. Oh, let me just check. Oh, here it is. Vitamin C warming peel is what it's called, but it is not a peel-off mask. Some people, as soon as they see the word peel, they think it's a peel-off mask. Some people think it's like a peel, like a chemical peel. Basically, it has the effect of doing like several chemical peels, okay? But it would take, if you went to a day spa and had a chemical peel done, they're stronger. They're much stronger. When you do like a warming, and it is wonderful because the vitamin C warming peel is a warming exfoliant. It warms in your hands, and then you're putting this warmer, and it actually helps. But the thing is, when my face is around warm water and anything warming, it makes it red. It makes it red just to begin with. If I rinse my face with warm water, I get red. When I take a hot shower, I'm red. So then the exfoliator makes me red. So I wasn't going to come on here today with my face I look like a beet red, and you think, what in the world did she do? She looks like a tomato right now. But it calms down. It calms down usually throughout the course of a day. I mean, throughout the day. Okay, but anyway, the foundation I had put on that I started with is Marshmallow in the FMG Cashmere collection of the liquid foundation. And now I'm going to do the concealer in which is usually Mochi. Mochi is there it is. Mochi is my main one, but I have a few others. Mochi. And just to do a little brightening. Just a little. And then I'm going to do one of my fabulous little sponges here. And I like how the point of the gem gets you right into, I like this much better than the regular shape of most beauty sponges, okay? They're okay, the egg ones, but I like this point so much better. It gets me right in where I need to go. Right in. Okay. So a lot of times we learn, back when I was learning to do makeup, you put the concealer on first. But now it's a different approach. It's a totally different approach. I'm going to do my little spot here. This is much better. Remember when this was hanging down lower? That's part of these collagen scrubs and the exfoliating. Look at that. It's almost gone. The problem is I have a scar right here, and it's similar to the scar I have right here. It's like from when I had the chicken pox when I was young. So that's also why I always have to draw my brows in. So, but anyway, I'm going to set this with the pressed powder. Set it with the fresh pressed powder. I almost set it with the fresh pressed powder. It's funny how certain words kind of sound together. All right. So he just sets the whole thing. And then I'm going to do a little highlight. There's a gold highlight that's in this palette right here. It is gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Now, I know a lot of people like doing big fluffy brushes with highlights, but I like doing this smaller. But I'd kind of dip it sideways. Dip it to the side and come in like that. Look at that stunning highlight. Okay. And, yeah, so a little update. I've been working 3 jobs. I work at Avon. I still have my hair and beauty business, but that really has changed. The business has really changed. I was very nervous to get back into doing the wedding aspect of doing makeup, just because a lot of brides are people aren't doing masks anymore, and because I'm older and I'm high risk, I'm a little nervous. Okay, I'm a little nervous about it, and so even if I'm masking, being so close, it's even closer than when I'm doing hair. It's really closer, leaning in, getting closer to their eyes, getting closer. If somebody sneezes or something, it's a much closer quarter. So a little nervous about that. In beginning of 2022, realized that 2021 things had not bounced back for me. Now for brows, I'm doing this is the Kathy Cat brow pencil in black brown is the shade, and this is all of these things are available on my Avon website, if I didn't say that before. So anyway, at the end of 2021, we realized that I just had to be bringing in more income. Avon is really helped fill the gaps, but for that my beauty business, but I still needed something else. So a few years ago, I had done a survey job from home, and I asked the boss of that project, and it's a contract job. She's contracted by a very big conglomerate to do the survey for this big, huge company that owns buses, bus and transportation services. And this is a survey for people who are handicapped and or elderly. Elderly handicapped as well as young handicapped, and anything in between that qualifies in a specific area, Long Island, New York. Okay, if they also run things around this area too, in Maryland, and they run a few other like transportation for elderly and handicapped as well, and a lot of them have different names. You may live in an area that has this type of service, so you know what I'm talking about, or you may have a relative or a friend that needs it. So anyway, it's a survey of those people, like, is the bus come on time for you, blah, 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 blah. And I can do it from home, And it's a part-time job, but it does take up a lot of time, and it's a quarterly survey. So going by a list of subscriber names. Um, so that's what I've been doing this past year from home, in addition to when I have an occasional hair client, in addition to an occasional makeup client, in addition to makeup consultations with Avon, if people want information about their skincare. I've also started to promote my artwork again, and my plan is in 2023 is to start teaching art, and my style of how I do art, to people who are interested, local people interested, or if people want a Zoom lesson if you don't live near me. So I look for those videos. I'll be doing videos where I may show a little bit of my technique and talk about that in the coming months. I'm not prepared right now to have all my stuff set up and to be doing that, but I will be, and I'm excited about that, and to be able, but to kind of, then I can actually like charge for classes, and that might be the answer to have, like, the thing is like with everything, things are cyclical, and sometimes, like, the world is changing, and there's some people who will pay the money for an art class for a fun night out with their girlfriends, but they might not be interested in going to an Avon party anymore, or they might be interested in doing an Avon party, but they might not be that into art. You just never know. You never know. And it's always good to have a couple of different, work as many of my talents as possible to bring in income. And yeah, so I've got a lot of irons in the fire, and a lot of entrepreneurial ideas, and people who, I mean, the best thing is the reason why I even thought about that was encouragement from a really fabulous customer who have had for many years, who loves art, and her and this other customer of mine who also, they basically got into, something during the pandemic, that doing artwork, and just getting out of their own box of thinking that they couldn't draw, or thinking of other people criticizing, like, oh, you could never do that, or and just kind of like putting those thoughts by the wayside, and then just starting to do artwork, and really doing some really great stuff. And so we had a lot of fun taking art class, taking some of these, these paint party classes together, but they kind of wanted to seek something a little bit more than what they were getting out of like your average paint party. So, it actually took the pandemic and me starting to like start coloring again. And that's why I started showing, my coloring things, just even doing that. And so that's been a really fun outlet, because it's not like, it's something I know how to do, and it's something different. It's just like kind of like makeup, the art of makeup. It's not something that everybody's, some people are into it, but not everybody is. But the thing is that all with art is they can take something home. It's not like you wash your face and it's gone, right? With art, unless you paint over it, but the main thing is they take it home, and then a lot of people are so impressed with, wow, you did that in a class, wow, that's amazing, wow, and really have fun with it, so that's something I'm excited to start doing for 2023. And but yeah, I'm also gonna do like little bits and pieces of no, the best thing about these Kathy cats is that they have the spoolie on the end, okay? Or you can actually take that out too. So if you want to just put this, you need a spoolie and you just want to have it, you can actually pull that out. So, and then you have the cap. Here's the cap for the there's a cap for the, wait, here's the cap. Cap for the spoolie is here. That snaps on. And you have the cap for the brow pencil here. So you've got a lot of things going on here in one pencil. Okay, so now let's just take this out here. And you can do the spoolie. See, that kind of softens it up. It almost looks too much when it's first drawn on, But once you smooth it out, it makes sense. At least I hope it does. Some things I do don't always translate all that well on camera. Now here's a tip. If you want to soften them, it still might seem a little dark. Maybe you might be doing your brows a little lighter or a little softer now that the brow thing is sort of like people are kind of doing a lighter brow. You kind of dip it into the pressed powder and then kind of just go over it with the pressed powder. Like that. Very lightly. I'm not doing it so much that it's smearing it away. But see how that softens it up, okay? All right, so little tips. All right. VDL eye primer. We have the full line of Belief, full line of VDL, full line of a lot of the Creme Shop products. We have the Face Shop. We have Dr. Belmore. We have the Mission, Luxury. We have a lot of brands. Chi collabs for hair. Avon has, a lot of people don't realize that Avon has a lot of collabs, okay? We have a lot of collabs going on. If you're an Avon rep or you're interested in being an Avon rep, you're not just selling Avon's products anymore. The newer company that took over Avon in 2019 really has a great vision for us because they knew that times were changing. They knew times were changing and we couldn't just be doing our own there were some things that are tried and true that people buy Avon for, but they knew we needed some updates. Okay, so this is a really great brown right here in the Mega Palette. And I'm going to do this, a great transition shade. And it's also a great bronzer too, but I'm just going to dip in here and fluff this out as a really pretty transition. A really great fluffy brush. And I think this was a Unique brush from when I used to do Unique. And it's one of my favorite. This blend, I think it's a blending brush. Yeah, blending brush. It is. All I had to do is read the label. And the makeup makes a huge difference, it just does. It makes me feel better. So anyway, for 2023, I'm going to be doing some art promoting, and I may even just do a video where I show some of my artwork on here and talk about that. And then I can post it on. I now have an art business page, and I'm having fun with that because it's things that not every as well as not just art like painting, but it's my things that I've done with photographs and then editing and different kinds of filters and special effects and artwork I've done from taking a photograph and changing the filters and edits and doing really cool I wouldn't call it like Photoshop art because I'm not using Photoshop, but similar to that. I use sometimes 2 or 3 different apps. Sometimes, Word Swag, the filters on Word Swag. Sometimes it's Instagram filters, but I don't actually post on Instagram. I just use the filter, then take a screen grab of it. It's a few different interesting things. So I have fun with it, and it's cool. I'm going to actually make this bulb. I call this a bulb. Make this bulb a little bit more a little more here. It's hard because when you do your brows and your brows grow differently, like this side grows down a little bit more and this side kind of goes up. So what I'm going to do is just make this go down a little bit to match. Just a little tweak, a little tweak here and there. All right, so now I'm going to go back to that gold that I did, this highlight here. Now, when I do a gold highlight, I could do a cut crease, but sometimes I just do like a brush, and this is also a Unique brush too. But I take one that's round and shaped, and it's very exact, and you can just get it right where. Now, Avon also has a full line of brushes too. I just happen to have. If it was good, I hung on to it, if things are good, I hang on to them. Or things aren't great, I let it go, you know. I hate to say it, just like with people. Sometimes if something isn't serving you anymore, you have to let it go. Alright, now I might just put a little in there. You can tell the light is changing. It's getting a little brighter. Getting a little brighter. A little brighter. Now, there's some really gorgeous, because I'm wearing like a wine color here. You can, my hair's almost just, I didn't even realize that wearing this would, you know, my hair almost disappears from it. I'm going to take a more, this was actually with a different brush that I got from something else. May have been at it's called Medium Precision 812. I don't know what brand. I think this came with a set that I bought like at a beauty show or something. Okay, now I'm going into this burgundy color. And I'm going to do like a V, but I call it the W. It's one of my little tricks. Most people call it a V, like where you go like that. That's the V. But I call it a W because it's 1, 2, 3. And then you just kind of line your eye with the smoky. 1, 2, 3. So it's like a W like that to the side, right? This one and that one, and then you've got that underneath. And then I just curve it up. If you want to clean it up underneath, just go up like that. Boom. Bam. Boom, bam, boom. And then I'll kind of go around. And then just lightly blend. And then if you want to blend it in a little bit more, into that transition, you just blend it in. Boom. Okay. Thought I was going to do a quick face, but trying to go quick, but there's a lot to say. I have a lot to say. Haven't done just an update video. So yeah, so that's what I've been doing. But I have been, you know, juggling those 3 things. I'm juggling the hair with the haircut clients. I still have juggling. And not only that, keep in mind that, you know, everything has to be, the sanitation is much higher now. So I have a lot more to do because ever since COVID, which is good, you know, it's a good thing, but it's more time consuming. And the makeup thing too, and delivering. And then my regular Avon clients that I do deliveries to and brochure drop-offs and all that. So I do that. That's a big chunk, and that also depends on the weather, and sometimes the weather can get in the way, and you know, and then you know, and the survey job. So and all of it is customer service. All of it, everything I do is customer service based. Is service industry based. It's customer service. Giving good customer service is very important to me. It's something I take pride in. I have been working since I was 12 years old. Okay, 12 years old, I've been working one way or the other. And pretty much everything I've done has always been serving people, okay, in one way or the other. Whether it was babysitting, right? Whether it was another job that I did when I was 14. One of the first official jobs was I had to stand outside with a survey and get our signatures for a petition, right? But so I had to go up to random people. I was very shy as a teen. It surprises a lot of people, but I was very shy. But I had to get up the nerve and go up to people and say, hey, would you like to sign this petition? And guess what it was about? It was about sewage sludge, of all things, okay? Sewage sludge, about some sort of thing where the dumping of sewage sludge or something in 1979, 1980. Oh, God. Who knows? I never even knew what it was all about. I was just like, please, do you want to sign? You know, and I was getting paid per signature. I should have known, but, you know, when you're 14 years old and someone's hiring, you know, you see an ad in the paper and you need to earn a little money. Now I'm dipping into this. So I did that, and then I did retail in a mall. I worked in a kids' clothing store. Kids' clothing store, and then from then on, it was assisting in a salon, and then cutting hair in a salon. And once I got my hair license, and then it was that, and then I had my own salon for 4 years. I had my own mini salon in a one of those booth rental places. You know, there's some salons that each station is rented, and then there's other ones where there's rooms, and each room is like its own salon, and that's what I rented for 4 years. So, okay, so now I'm going to take Merlot lip liner, and that's what I did. And so, you know, and that was also serving customers. Then when I decided to close it, because it's really struggled after the 2009, 2010 recession, it was a struggle. It was a struggle. It was great when I was making great money, and I wouldn't have opened it unless I had a great big clientele, and I did in 2007. 2008, things are still good, but then by 2009, 2010, at that point, and then the weather started changing. Many of you all will remember how we started getting some really huge, big, bad snowstorms in my area. The rain changed things, and gas prices changed things, even then. And people started cutting back. And also, companies started cutting back on, companies started laying people off. Companies started cutting back on Christmas parties and celebrations and all these different things for the employees. So they were like, why should I get my hair done for the holidays? And and stretching out appointments and that. But I still kept a good core clientele. I did. And then at the end of 2011, it was really a struggle, and I had some personal things I had to take care of in regards to with my family. So then I decided to the liner I just used was the Merlot Glimmer liner, which is also available on my website. It's on Avon. They used to call them Glimmer sticks, now they're called the Glimmer liners. All right, so what else is this? I'll do a Glimmer satin lipstick since I haven't shown those anymore. So, you know, then I just started doing freelancing. I started doing freelance beauty. When I closed my shop, I started doing freelancing. Now, what shade is this? Sierra Sunset. Sierra Sunset. This is, and it's a really pretty shade. This is the Glimmer Satin Lipsticks, also on my website. And so from 2012 to 2022, I just did hair freelancing. But in 2013, 2014, I decided to, because even that time was kind of cyclical and I needed a gap filler, and that was when I started doing that survey job from home. And back then, it was just doing the survey over the phone, filling out a form, and I'd turn my forms into my boss, and she, you know, and then I also would write the report and kind of go over whatever, the majority what the answers were, and I'd write a report. But then, so I did that for a few years as a supplement, as a gap filler kind of thing. And then I took a break. I think it was 2017. I took a break for a few years. And from that, because I had some health issues, I had some really crazy health issues that popped up and had to take care of those. And I couldn't maintain the schedule of the survey job. So as things got better with that, things got better. Things bounced back as far as my beauty business concerned, and things were going pretty well. And I thought it was good. Things were good. But then, of course, COVID hit. That's when I added Avon in. Well, I was selling another brand. I was selling Unique. And I actually sold Mark, which was an Avon subdivision. And before, in 2013, I added that. And that was good. Then a year later, they closed Mark. And it was just like, oh my God, here's something else, another change. And that was actually when I started the survey. Okay, so they closed that. I started the surveys, was doing the beauty stuff, juggling those two things. Then I decided to add Unique 2017 when I had after a few 3 years later, when I developed these health problems, and I had to cut back on the survey job, not do that survey job at that point because I couldn't keep up with that schedule. So I thought, okay, I can do videos from home and all this and do that, and that was good. But then 2 years later, they decided to change their skincare line. Unique decided to change their skincare line, and I had a lot of customers that were using that, and I had an issue. I had an issue on my own face, which really caused some problems, and with the new line, and then so a lot of my customers who had liked the original line couldn't buy it. Couldn't buy the new stuff, and especially I wasn't going to promote it. So I was like, well, let me go back. Let me see what's going on with Avon, and I go back to Avon, and I really liked the direction that Avon was going into, and I got into that again, and so that was 2019, and everything was going good. 2019 is going good. We moved in a new townhouse in 2020, thinking life's good, right? And then COVID hits, and then suddenly things change. So then suddenly people can't get their hair done, people don't care, and then even when things opened up again, a lot of my customers were retiring, saying, oh, I don't need to color my hair as much. They spend all that time, they're not coloring their hair. There's been a lot of changes. The way people, and the gas prices went up high again. We all know that. So then it was like, oh no, food got more expensive, gas got more expensive. What happened? So then it was like, well, I'm not going to give this up. This is good. I'm not going to give up my time to be able to schedule my clients when they need me. I'm going to have to, have something else that I can add from home. So that's when we made the decision, beginning of 2022, I'd find something else I could do from home. And then I added the survey job again. So that's how I've been doing 3 different things. And luckily, the person who my boss had hired from 2017 to 2022 had gotten another job, and she was looking for someone to fulfill that position, and at the same time I happen to be looking, and then now I'm also, in addition to doing the papers, making the phone calls and doing the surveys, I'm actually keying the results into SurveyMonkey, and then someone else takes the results, and she's kind of updated, and someone else takes the results of everything that we key in, and they do the report. And then it's actually like charts and things that compares, like, what was this from, so it's a very great thing. It's a great thing to be able to have that from home. So everything, a lot of things I do either freelance at other people's homes, or things like Avon I do at home. Or no, this is the black is black glimmer liner for the eyes. They have them for lips, we have them for brows, we have them for eyes. I just prefer the Kathy Cat brow pencil, but this is really great. These are all really great, only $3.99. Sometimes they're on sale for only $3.49, even lower, but $3.99, you can't beat that. So this is my signature look that I do with my liner. I'm just going to do it for the other eye. Just get a little closer, where I go a little fatter out here, wing it out here, then go a little thinner in towards the corner. And yeah, so it's kind of crazy, because it was always adding, and then something else would pop up. So then I'd be like, well, I'm not going to do that for a while, but I need something else. And it's a lot to juggle. Sometimes there's paperwork or invoices, or there's things that from Avon that I'm staying up late to do because I spent the daytime doing something else, or sometimes I'm printing out, my invoices from when somebody got their makeup done and they used a credit card, and I keep track of, those files, and then sometimes I'm, printing out a receipt for somebody, and it's 1 a.m, I do what I have to do. My husband works full time, and we're blessed that he has worked consistently for 8 years. We're so blessed, but sometimes he also does these occasional acting gigs, and we're blessed to have that. And he was doing some consulting work for the city next town over for their arts department, and helping them do film festivals, but that's on hold because the person he was working with just suddenly passed away. Things change. What I have learned in life, that every time you think that you've got something, oh, I've got it, I've got this under control, I've got this in the bag, I've got this, it's set. Boom, something else happens. Something else happens, and it can throw your plan the opposite direction, totally opposite direction, and you think you've got it together, and often things you can't expect, every time. Whether it's a salon that I worked for that would change management, whether it was a or the owner decides to close, and it was a great place to work, and all of a sudden, boom, I'm sorry, I decided to close the shop. Da, da, da. Oh no, here we go. Or a management change, and all of a sudden that boss changes, or a company like Avon, we got bought out by a different company, and then suddenly new things, or they decide, we're gonna change the website, and there are always going to be changes. And even if you think the grass is greener and you decide to work somewhere else or try something else or do something else, then next thing you know, we decided, even though that new thing seemed great, then next thing you know, we've decided to put a whole new system in, and blah, 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 and the new system could be terrible, My life has been full of those kinds of throw this at you, and then you have to pivot, and throw this at me, throw this at you, and then have to pivot again, throw this at you, and pivot again. I'm the expert at pivoting. Sometimes it's exhausting and it's stressful, and for some reason, some people to have an easier time. When you're in a creative field, you tend to have more of it. But even the people, I'm just going to say this, in this, where we live in the DC area, a lot of it is dependent on the federal government. And I was talking to a friend of mine who is a retired federal government employee, and there were times when the federal government made changes and said, oh, you're not going to have your office anymore. You're going to have this cubicle. You're going to have this system you're going to have to learn. You're going to have to do this. You're going to have to do that. And, there are changes there. There were changes there, and there are changes often, and we have to be, sometimes it's hard to be flexible to those changes, especially like if you're going, in these changes in life, like especially if you're going through other family stress, and which is I'm always going through one way or the other, and family stress, or if you're going through a breakup or a divorce, or you've got issues with your kids, or your kids have problems, or family members with problems. There's just so much. There's so much with our world and our life, and it's I feel like sometimes it's more complicated today. Things were, especially then if you have something where you got to be on phone with a cable company, or some other thing on top of that, or you lose electricity because like we just recently had a situation. It was made the national news, where some guy who owns a private plane was flying his plane and hit a electric wire, or hit the electric tower. It crashed into the electric tower, and then half the whole area was like without electricity, and then the domino effects of that, some fluke things will happen. Some guy tried to commit, or he actually did, and this is a sad story. He committed suicide in his condo, and how he did it, like, I don't know if he turned the oven on or something. The whole row of condos exploded, and people are homeless now. Hey, whatever you want to do, I'm not promoting something, but what's one thing if you do something, but if you're gonna do something like that, you have to think about how it's going to affect other people. And that was nearly a month ago. And, when you hear these tragedies, these are two local things that happen. You hear these terrible things that happen, like, you think, for the grace of God, go I. I see there are people that are homeless from that explosion. And or sometimes it's a negligent landlord. And there was another apartment complex that had an explosion like that, and they thought this one was a similar situation, but it turned out it wasn't a gas leak that people. That one was the first one was a few years ago was a gas leak that the landlord ignored. Oh, people smelling gas, and like, and then next thing you know, a whole row, and it was around the holidays too. So, things happen, and I'm not complaining about my life. I'm just sort of like, and I know there's so many that have it so much worse, especially, around the world. And, there's so much. And so I'm always grateful. I'm always grateful for my ability to juggle these things, these stressful things. And an ability to be grateful that, and help others. I've done volunteer work. I've been able to have a flexible situation that enabled me to do volunteer work. I've done stuff for holiday giving. I do things to help animals and charity, give and things. Say, I'm not going to spend as much for Christmas this year and give more to certain charities just to help people, just to help people. So, however, we're all going through stuff. And so I'm kind of opening up a little real talk here, just so that, we all go through health stuff. We all go through, have things thrown at us. Sometimes when you're going through it, you feel like you're the only one, right? And now I'm just going to we have a really great, look at this, banana powder, really gorgeous banana powder with a creme shop. And this is also sold through my Avon site. And one thing, it has a really great sifter here, and you just get it. So one thing, instead of having to like get a whole lot out and have it be messy, which I just made a mess, is just take a little brush and just go over certain areas that I'm going to go over certain areas that have a tendency to be oily. And and so, yeah, it's like a whole new face. It's a whole new face. One thing about makeup is it really makes a difference. I like how I look when it's all done, and I feel better when it's all done. And I feel like, and the mascara I just did while I was talking was a Love at First Lash, which I should have said something a minute ago, but I didn't. And Love First Lash is just fabulous. I'm going to put another coat on. Love First Lash. But it's infused with vitamin E. And my lashes are getting better again. There was that brief time. I don't even remember if that video was on here. But there was a brief time where I was, and I only do false lashes once in a blue moon. You hardly ever see me show false lashes on here. We do now have them on Avon, on my Avon website and in the brochures, which I'm very excited about. But I'm not sure if it's just stress, because I was talking about that hair loss issue that I'm still kind of thinking. But I did notice I had a gap of lashes that were missing. And I don't know if it was related to the glue from false eyelashes from this other set. I don't even have ours yet, or our glue yet, but I'm still using up some old stuff that I have from before. So I don't know if it's that glue and those lashes or whatever, but I do have a tendency to be very itchy when I wear false lashes and eyelash glue. So not really sure if it's that or it was that caused that gap. But, it's still, overall from using the Love at First Lash, as well as our lash serum. Where's our lash serum? I have it somewhere. Our lash serum is like the intense version of what is in our Love at First Lash mascara. Our lash serum is really great too, but I've been following up with the lash serum and the Love at First Lash, and then a month later, my lashes are back, like as if nothing had ever happened. So that's also, there are also some amazing, amazing products. So anyway, last but not least, I'm going to finish up with the True, it's called the True Color, Avon True Color. We had this True Color line was for our older lines. They still have a few products that are in the True Color line from before the new company took over. And this is a great makeup setting spray. So I'm just going to do a spritz. And so yeah, so in the beginning of 2022 is when I added that third job, and so it's been I have not had as much time as I would like to be doing these kinds of videos or doing videos in general, even going on to my Facebook, but I'm trying to do as much as I possibly can to just show you guys, bring as much content to you as possible and have fun and still keep it fun, still keep things fresh, still keep things interesting, and as well as, still promote my business and still promote my team. If you're interested in joining my team, if you want any of these at a discount, get an even lower prices, you can join my team. Still a zero sign up, still all these great, wonderful benefits and to joining, and it's just do that in your own time. You can incorporate it into your life very easily, like I have, and if you have any questions, I've always put all my links and everything below. Since you can't leave comments, you can always follow me on my other social media and comment, like on my Instagram, or send me a message on my Instagram, or send me a message on my Facebook, or follow me on my Facebook business page and message me there. And like I said, I hope you all have a wonderful holidays. I'm definitely going to be coming in before the holidays are over and make some more videos for you guys. But I always thank you all for the following. Thank you for your support. For those who are customers who are watching me here, thank you for your purchases. I'm so very, very grateful. And I just hope you all have a wonderful day or evening wherever you are. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Thanks. Bye.